Love America Tour Week 1 Review. Dropping your boring pandemic life and getting in an RV with two strangers is enough to make anyone want to chug a beer or 30. But this chug was not done out of hate. It was done out of love. Chad and I are doing our part to chug across America. Each state, one chug. Feel free to donate some beer. That being said, my diet is getting destroyed. Everywhere we go, our hosts have had awesome food for us. The first morning in Austin, I was like intermittent fasting until lunch. And then bam! A neighbor rolled up in a golf cart with 3 awesome breakfast burritos he just made. Could you say no to that? Could you? I felt guilty after that giant burrito and did some crunches while Corin interviewed 2 of his street art buddies. I made this cool time lapse as I crunched it out. Hey Corin, tell everyone what you like about street art.
You know, one of the things that I like most about street art is when I get to hang out with my friends who also do it, and we go out and find really good spots, and it's a adrenaline rush to go out there and do this kind of artwork. It's free to view. Good Luck Buddha is a really good friend of mine. We're in the same crew, TCF The Chosen Few, and he does some amazing work. All very positive, heartfelt messages that make you think, but are not political messages, which is great. And I think everybody can get something out of them. Get out while you can is a favorite saying of his, and Sleep is famous with this idea of television being kind of having a hypnosis factor on us, and he uses that television set as his icon, and sleep is famous, like people falling asleep to reality and giving into this kind of false reality that's delivered to us via the media. I myself stick with kind of like a regular approach with just characters based on my family members. My son here in his Halloween costume from a few years back, and then I use my daughter a lot as well in different images, and then I also use characters from history sometimes, but mainly I like to just put stuff up that is simple and easy to accept, and doesn't force you to think any one way or the other. It's just art, and it's just an expression of my love for my kids, and also my love for the artistic medium that's been labeled street art. And this particular style is called wheat pasting, which is a paper form of art, and you take a mixture of sometimes it's homemade wheat paste, which is used like a wheat flour mixed with some hot water and sometimes some glue and stuff. It dries chalky though, so we tend to use wallpaper paste that is sometimes cut with wood glue to give it a longer lasting life. But the thing about doing the paper art, because it is temporary, it comes off over time and disappears completely from the wall. It's not the type of artwork that you would see in your usual graffiti art scene, which has to be painted over. This art can actually just be sprayed off with a water hose if you want to. So that's kind of it's a more friendly form of artistic expression on the street. This particular one is my son when he was dressed up as Jack Sparrow for Halloween when he was about 3 years old. And I just love the image so much. It's so cute, and everybody loves Jack Sparrow, and everybody loves little kids. They're sweet and innocent, and I just love that image so much. It makes me smile every time I put one of those up. And I do hand-painted versions of that as well, or I paint over the paste ups and make them a lot more artsy. Like the one I did here of my daughter, which was a large-scale print. But the one thing that is good about being on the road, not just the meeting up with street artists and everything is meeting up with folks that like to cook meat. uh, but yeah, the whole trip overall, getting to meet all of the different people we have, and we got to celebrate an incredible Fourth of July with a great group of real, patriotic Americans who were from all different walks of life, and they're just all living in the same neighborhood, and they all are friends because they respect each other, and they help each other out, and that's what America's all about. We got to come together in order to break down these barriers that we put up. And for me, that's what Love America Tour is all about: getting to know people, getting to know new places, and bringing a message of unity, peace, and love in place of divisiveness.
The next day, Vanilla Ice was supposed to do a concert at Emerald Point, and we had full video access. I thought there was no way this concert would happen, but it was still scheduled 12 hours before it was time to rock the mic like a vandal. I got super pumped to possibly meet Vanilla, and then they canceled the concert because all the internet trolls were talking trash. We still checked out the bar, and Corin did some great interviews with some of the staff and the owner. Check those out at the Love America Tour YouTube page. I pre-made food for the trip, but since everyone was feeding us and I didn't know how to use the stove in the RV, my first batch of food went bad, so I fed it to the pig, and he loved it. Leaving Austin after 3 days of fun was tough, but we headed to our first RV park in lovely Waco. Chad's mom brought us some awesome kolaches for breakfast. I did my best to resist them and only ate about 5 or 9 of them. I also have some sad news to report. We may never know if Winston can overcome his fear of traveling, because Chad thought it would be best to leave Winston with his mom. So we said goodbye to Winston and Chad's mom and headed to Lindale, Texas to learn about knife making and a little about life. Tragedy almost struck as our brakes started acting up on the way there, so we had to take the RV to the shop to get them repaired. That was a major bummer and kept us in Lindale for 3 days. Luckily, we had some awesome hosts. John was super cool and turned a piece of wire into a knife. When I get time, I'm going to post the whole video with John doing a voiceover describing the knife making process. So check out JB and Son Knives. They have a Facebook page and they're working on a website. I'll post some links below. John's pond has been acting up lately, so we went outside and shot it a few times. Take that, pond! Look how sweet Chad's hair looks as he slow-mo shoots this shotgun.
Chad fires giant gun.
Boom! Before I left, Corin did an awesome mural on their property back in the woods. Check it out. Hey Corin, tell us more about your graffiti!
The one thing that I really like about painting graffiti art is that any surface, no matter what it is, where it is, can be painted. There's actually a small tree in the foreground of this painting, which I make disappear, behind the paint there, and that's a technique that we use in graffiti art all the time. Is making objects that are in the foreground sink back into the background by painting over them. But my name Pike it comes from when I was in 10th grade studying medieval times, and they were talking about putting heads on pikes, after they were decapitated, and I just thought Pike, that was a cool name, and I started using that as my graffiti moniker at that time, changing it from a different name that I used to have before that, but I got caught, so I had to change it from Chrome, Krome, to Pike. And I've had that ever since. I like to make the letters into characters, so it gives, being able to paint just the letters in a really simple style, but give them character by adding eyeballs and teeth into kind of the vacant areas with the P and the I and the K and the E, and that gives it kind of a life to it that the regular lettering style doesn't really have, and it's really quick and easy to do, and I think that it's a lot of fun to look at. That even kids will look at it and enjoy it. And painting in really weird places, like out here in the middle of the woods, where likely hardly anybody will ever see it, is I think one of the funnest times to have as a graffiti artist. Finding those, we call them graph safaris. You know, we go out into really strange locations, way out in the middle of nowhere, and try and find a place to paint and leave a little something behind. Which to me is what it's all about. It's about leaving a piece of myself behind that other people, you know, can see and reflect on, whether they like it or not, I guess.
So week 1 is done. We had some ups, we had some downs, we had some all arounds. Follow the Love America Tour on Twitter. Subscribe to my YouTube. Subscribe to Corin's YouTube. Watch all the interviews and find out what happens on this thing. Will we crash and die because the brakes go out again? Will we get to interview Hubu Stank? Find out in the next episode. Subscribe, like, follow. Subscribe, like, follow. Subscribe, and check out this cool time lapse of this storm that rolled in. And check out this cool time lapse of this storm that rolled in. Subscribe, like, follow. And check out this cool time lapse of this storm that rolled in. And check out this cool time lapse of this storm that rolled in. Hey, Corin, tell us more about your